Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Josh Sanch here, your host of the Bodybuilding News Network, and I have a relatively interesting video for you. As always, I feel like all the topics are interesting on here on Bodybuilding News Network, but specifically, there is a story developing from Buys and Tries, one of our favorite Instagram outlets for all things bodybuilding news related. And the post is a highlight from the Olympia TV YouTube channel where Tarek Gundi and Bob Chicarello and a couple other guys, Chris Cormier's on there sometimes. What's his name? Tim Wilkins. Apologies, he's another cool commentator and he does emceeing for some pro shows and a couple other different things. And he's a comedian. Cool thing if you didn't know. Check him out. Anyways, side tangent. Bob Chicarello made some comments during that interview, and I thought it was interesting. Let's just go ahead and get into it. All right. So the quote here is Bob says, quote, if Samson and Nick, or Nick Walker, I'm not sure, both show up on game day at the Arnold Classic at 100%, Samson beats him, Nick Walker, 10 times out of 10. There's only so much Nick can do. He knows that, and Nick is smart. So I think we all know what Bob is trying to say here. I think what he's trying to say is Samson's projected best of all time versus Nick Walker's projected best of all times. Samson's going to beat him for a variety of different reasons. He talks about, as we go through here, I quote, if you know bodybuilding, shape, proportions, symmetry, muscularity, he's got every attribute that he needs in reference to Samson Dauda. I think we all know what he's trying to say. I just don't think he articulated it very well. Now, let's look at the past, let's look at the history, and let's just kind of break this down. Samson Dauda turned pro in 2017. He won I think it's called the Diamond Cup Rome, is where he got his pro card. And then he rolled into uh, a good competitive season. He did, let's see here. His first show was the Prague, foreshadowing because he won that show recently. Um, he did the Prague, and that was his first pro show. He placed fifth. And I know we have a comparison coming up here in just a second, and that's from I believe it's the Romania in 2018 where he placed 11th. So that's his first show, right? And then you think about Nick Walker's first show, fourth place at the Chicago Pro. And that was 2 years ago in 2020, or technically 3 years ago. So I want you to get this picture of career progression, career trajectory. I need to stop using that word. I keep messing it up. In the last video, I used it too. Their career paths. Nick Walker is on a much more aggressive career path to be Mr. Olympia. He does fourth place at his first pro show, the Chicago Pro. He makes corrections and comes back in 2020 or 2020. Yeah, he comes back in 2020, right? Yeah, 2020. Anyways, sorry. My brain's all over the place. He comes back, wins the New York Pro, and wins the Arnold Classic Ohio on his second and third pro show ever. And then he comes into his first Olympia ever and places top 5. Now, Samson does have some debating there because in his first Olympia, he places top 6. So good. But think of how long it took Samson Dauda to get there. He has, I don't know. This is probably 15 pro show, about 15 pro shows that he's been doing so far, ranging from 5th place to 11th place, quite a few second place wins. And then he didn't win his first pro show until 2021. Surprisingly, it is the Prague show. So actually one of his first pro shows ever, actually his actual first pro show was the Prague. And he comes back 17, 18, 19, 20, 4 years later and wins it. So it's kind of a cool thing. But if you can sift through my ranting, I don't know if Bob articulated it well enough or perfectly to say that Samson Dauda's best of all time potentially is going to be better than Nick Walker's best of all time, potentially. Because Nick Walker is on a very aggressive path to win the Mr. Olympia in the next couple of years. Debatably, maybe 2-3 years, he could win the Mr. Olympia. Now, Samson Dauda is also on a path. I'm going to stop saying the word. He's on a path to possibly win the Mr. Olympia, maybe 2-3 years if he brings the conditioning. But we haven't seen the level of conditioning that Samson needs to win a Mr. Olympia, or for that fact, an Arnold Classic, or when Dwayne Johnson gets his Atlanta FitCon, whatever they want to call it, and that'll be like the third biggest show in the world. He might not even have what it takes to win that show right now because he hasn't brought the conditioning to really bring the package together. He's put so much muscle on, something like 20 pounds of stage weight in the last year. 20 pounds of stage weight, but he's not giving his body the opportunity to present the physique in a way that's going to give him that better look over someone like Nick Walker, who has always shown up in shape and he's always shown up complete. There hasn't really been any lacking body parts. Even when he was an amateur doing the national level shows, he was still very, very complete. It's just other people were showing up maybe just a tad bit sharper. So what I want you to take away from this is, yes, Samson does have the possibility. He does have the potential to win an Arnold Classic, and he could win this one if Nick Walker does show up off. But history has shown us that Nick Walker does not show up off, and he is very dedicated and he's very focused. He truly embodies what a professional is in this new era of pro bodybuilding. So I want you to take that thought. Also, there's this other conversation that I think is really important. And if for those of you that are sticking around this long, I do appreciate you guys watching these videos all the way till the end. It's very important to think about what somebody could bring and what somebody has brought. And Nick Walker has brought a top 3 Olympia physique to the IFBB. He's brought it to the Olympia. Samson has brought a 5th place Arnold Classic physique and a top 6 Olympia physique. So to compare them, I just don't think is fair to Nick Walker. I think he's done the work. I even think that Shawn Clarita has done the work. And I think Shawn is probably getting overlooked a lot. And heck, even Big Rami's coming into this conversation. He's coming into this show. And I think he has an opportunity to do that, to do a good job at the Arnold Classic. So yes, I'm pretty sure Bob wasn't trying to ruffle any feathers, but at the same time, that's kind of his stick. Like he kind of is like this egotistical guy that thinks he's above. Anyways, I don't want to get into that tangent, but I don't think he always has the best intentions for athletes at the forefront of his mind. And I don't think he had the best intentions when he was making those comments in regards to Nick Walker. Now, yes, I think he was giving Samson some earned and deserved promotion because he has made a very impressive last year. But I still think Nick Walker's going to walk away with this one. So please let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below. I know this one is a little bit more of a rant and just me talking. And I'm sure if I had my camera on, you'd see me with my hands flying in the air, but we haven't really done camera shots in a while. So I hope you guys enjoyed this rant, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed this style of content as Totoro jumps on my desk. Enjoy your day. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another one.